Susan Manion MacDonald, and I'm a national lecturer and Canadian best-selling author of Balance, Nature's Way to Heal Your Body. And I'm here today just to give you a brief outline of what a lecture might appear to be when I come to your area. I'll give you a little history of what went on in my life. Back in 2002, I'd been sick for a number of years, and I was diagnosed in December of 2002 with terminal cancer. It was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and there's 29 types. And the type I had, they said, had a brain, and if they gave me chemotherapy, I would still die. So I chose to live, and I decided to find another way. And during that process, I found that I could get well naturally, that it had been out there in books for a number of years. And so I started to read, and I started to listen to my instinct. And the more that I got into looking after my body and strengthening it in different ways, I was able to get more instinctive and be guided to who came my way. And one of the things I learned was that when the student's ready, the teacher will come. And most often now, I keep an eye on who comes in my way, in my direction, because they're either coming for a lesson or to teach. And so I ask all of you to keep that in mind when you meet anybody or you talk to anybody on the phone on a daily basis. It's pretty amazing how the world is and how we are. So the book Balance is about 20% my journey. The first chapter is on my story and how that started to take place. And the other chapters are intermingled with the word balance itself. There's a chapter actually with B, which has to do with body. And the body, I talk in that chapter about enzymes. I talk about the 7 stages of disease and how they can be reversed at any stage. I also talk about the proper amount of water for your body size, and about blood tests and how it's important to take responsibility and look after your blood tests and make sure how they are, because they need to be in the middle, not too high, not too low. And sometimes doctors don't identify with that until they've gotten too low or gotten too high. And so the other part is very important as well. So the next chapter is an A, and it's on alkaline and acid. And if your body is alkaline, disease will not grow. And so it's an amazing chapter on identifying your urine and saliva pH and how to do that and how to reverse that as well. The next chapter is on is L, and it's on lymph and liver. And your liver has 500 functions. And you could put 500 people in a room and they would each have a different symptom. And so it's possible to have that happen. It's also possible to have a numerous amount of things going on with your liver at one time. And your lymph does not have a pump. And its pump is for you to breathe and also in exercising. And so one of the wonderful ways to exercise is rebounding. So in that chapter it talks about rebounding, it talks about proper breathing. It also talks about juicing and other ways to detoxify and get the liver back to where it needs to be to give it support. The next A is actually on additives and chemicals. And they're everywhere in our life. We can be sleeping in a bed for 8 hours during the night, and depending on how we've set up our room as a wellness place, you could be getting all sorts of toxins while you're sleeping. From the time you rise in the morning until you have breakfast, you can run into numerous chemicals in your shampoos and your soaps and your toothpaste, even in the chlorine in the water. So that chapter explains where all your basics are. So it gives you an example of where those are. And what I emphasize in the book, it's not about giving up everything, although I did a very strict and rigid regime myself. It's about understanding where balance is, and it's about giving yourself grace as well. And so the next chapter is actually on nutrition, and for nutrition. And nutrition is really important. Once you get those cells strong with essential fatty acids, and I talk about that in the first chapter on balance on the body. Once you get the cells strong, you get the toxins out, and then you need to make sure that you're getting the nutrients in, because you need to get those cells healthy. They need to have energy, and food is energy. And the more raw it is, or al dente it is, the more energy it has and the more energy it gives you. And what you want to do is replace the energy that you've lost. And so you can get out of balance by having too much vitamins and minerals, just as much as too little. So that chapter helps explain that and just how that works. It's an amazing book, and it's an amazing way to look and to go through the process of getting well naturally, and also to prevent illness. This book is not just about cancer. This book is about all types of illness and disease, and that you have the ability, with the proper guidance and the basics, to be able to get well naturally. And that's what the book is about. It's about the basics. And so the next chapter is on C, and it's on coping skills. And coping skills are really important. If you volunteer for helping somebody else, it takes your mind off yourself. If you go out and garden, that's going to raise your spirit if that's something that you want to do. Or maybe you want to fish. But the whole purpose of coping skills is to look at what raises your spirit, what touches your soul. It's all about leading your life by your heart instead of your head. And it's learning how to do that. It's also about getting in touch with the feelings that you have or may have put away sometime in your life. And so it's learning about all of those things. The next chapter is E, in the final chapter. And E is on exercise. And exercise is really of value. But you see people at the gym and they're spending hours and hours and hours, and what they're doing is they're actually wearing down their body. You don't need to exercise like crazy to lose weight. You actually can get the toxins out. Toxins cling to fat. And so the book explains that. So exercising 30 minutes a day, 3 to 5 days a week is perfect for the body. Once you work on your liver, you're going to support your muscles, and that's going to keep you in a better shape. So when you do exercise, that you're going to get into shape on a much faster basis. So I hope that you learned something from Lectures on Balance and the book Balance itself. I thank you for giving me this opportunity to give you this little bit of information. And I really hope you look at inside and you realize that you have the ability to heal yourself naturally, just as I did. And thank you again, and talk to you in the future.